Hello, dear parents. So, to make your child study is the dream of every parent. मेरा बच्चा अच्छे से पढ़े, कामयाब हो, अच्छा जॉब लगे या बिजनेस करे आगे जाके, बट पढ़ाई अभी अच्छे से करे. And that is, like the concern of every parent. And many students or children today, they shy away from the books. So, what can we do as a parent so that a child can build healthy study habits? क्या हम कर सकते हैं, क्या हम नहीं कर सकते? That is exactly what we are going to talk in this particular video, where I'm going to discuss how we can help children to build study habits. So, I understand that as a parent, you want to do everything you can to help your child succeed in the school, in academics, in career. So, one way to do that is to help children build healthy study habits. So, it is never too early to start getting your children into good study habits. You can play an important role in helping them develop these skills. But what are good study habits and how can you help children build study habits? We are going to discuss this in detail in this video. But before that, if you're coming to the channel for the first time and watching this on YouTube, let me welcome you by sharing that my name is Akshay, and I'm really grateful to you that you're taking out your time to watch this video and become an empowered parent. I had the opportunity to work at IIT Bombay as a senior project manager for a decade, interacting with a lot of students, and many times, I found that the students were not very happy with their careers. Not just, even though they were in IIT, and some were, but some were not necessarily. And sometimes they used to say that, I came here because of my parents. We need to carefully understand what is the role of parents in the career selection, and for that also I have a video which probably you can check out in this course or on YouTube, that how as parents we can empower. What are the do's and don'ts that we need to keep in mind when we are guiding a child in the career journey? And also, I see that parents sometimes, because they're not aware about the career trajectory, they feel that the conventional career option should only be the good for the child. So conventional options like engineering, medicine, IT can be good, but it's also a good idea to explore other options as well. Understanding, keeping in mind the child's persona, his interest, his abilities, and not just scope or what other people are doing. It's not going by peer pressure or societal pressure, but identifying the individuality of the child can actually empower him to become successful in his or her career journey. So to solve this problem, I founded Career Vision Hub. And if you want to know more about it, you can go to my website jakshay.com or careervisionhub.com, where you'll understand about the details of how to select the right career and about the various products and services that could also be helpful for you. If you want to know more about it, you can send an email to cbhakshay@gmail.com. So now let's jump into this video and discuss about how parents can help children build study habits. So let's look at a few steps towards children building study habits. Children building study habits is definitely an integral part of the routine. So the first part is to make a daily schedule and stick to it. So one way is to make a daily schedule and stick to it, but the schedule should not be made by the parent. If you're guiding the child to make a schedule, the schedule should be actually owned by the child, in the sense that the child should understand the schedule, should feel that yes, this is the schedule I want to follow, and then only he will be able to follow it. Otherwise, आप schedules बनाते जाओगे, वो follow नहीं होंगे, right? So this making a schedule definitely will help become them organized and make time for homework and self-study, but it has to be done in a proper way. Second is create a study space. So another way is to create a study space. So children should choose a space where they feel comfortable working and making sure it is free of distractions. And the next thing is take breaks. So it is also important to take breaks. So instead of studying for hours on end, children should take short breaks in between to allow their brains to rest. Once we have a proper study room जहाँ पे ना focus करके वो study कर सके, because the energy of the room and all these things also matter. It should be neat and clean. Second thing is कि you can study in chunks. कभी कभी क्या होता है कि बच्चे सुबह 7 बजे से रात को 9 बजे तक बैठे स्टडी टेबल पे, बोर्ड एग्जाम आ रहा है, कुछ आ रहा है, बट they are talking on the phone also, they are talking to their siblings also, they are going out, they are watching TV. So there is no focused. Rather than that, what I would recommend that the child focuses and studies, locks himself in the room and studies for at a stretch, say whatever is comfortable, 60 minutes, 90 minutes, maximum 2 hours at one stretch, and then takes a break of 30 minutes to 60 minutes and then resumes. Like that, if the child has 2 hours ka 3 chunks, or even 1 hour ka 5 to 6 chunks in a day, it is more than sufficient. Rather than sitting from morning to evening, and the child can also get time to recreate in terms of playing, exercising, talking to family members, spending time with them. So this is something organization that we could do. Fourth thing is reward milestones. So reward themselves for reaching milestones. After completing a certain portion of the topics or after adhering to the daily schedule, they should reward themselves. This will help them to stay motivated. Like you can think of rewards for short-term goals as well as for long-term goals. कि cycle मिलेगी या whatever. Then comes seek help. So children should be very comfortable when they need help, whether it's from a parent, teacher, or tutor. Children should always seek out help whenever necessary. And avoid procrastination. We should train the children to avoid procrastination, right? If an assignment is due soon, children should start working on it right away rather than putting it off in the last minute. बहुत सारे बच्चे क्या करते हैं, एग्जाम के एक दिन पहले पढ़ते हैं, and that habit basically starts from the school side and then it continues till college. Rather than if they're giving some time every day along with the school or college, maybe 1 or 2 hours every day, it could be sufficient in helping them build their concepts, and then it will be very easy, less taxing, properly planned, and less anxiety both for you as a parent and for the child if the systematic study is there and there is no procrastination in terms of covering up a particular part or doing an assignment, so that there is no last minute hurdles. So these are some steps which I wanted to suggest that can help children build study habits that will serve them throughout their academic careers. And developing good study habits will help children succeed in school and also in life. Now let's try to understand what should the parents avoid. This is also very, very important. क्या ऐसी चीज़ें हैं जो parents को avoid करना चाहिए when we are looking at developing good study habits for the child. So we are looking at comparison. We are looking at pushing too hard, not being involved at all with the child. पढ़ रहा है बच्चा पढ़ लेगा. Not providing enough structure for the child to study. Being very critical, and we'll also look at what is the conclusion. So let's evaluate all these different points. First is comparison. So one of the worst things parents can do when it comes to children building study habits is to compare them to other children. Not only studies, in general, in anything, for any skill, even for the career selection or for their academics, if they compare them to other children, that is very, very detrimental to the mental and emotional health of the child. So this can lead to a sense of competition that is not healthy and can hinder a child's progress. So children need to feel like they are doing well to be motivated, and comparing them to others will only make them feel inferior. We need to understand that every child is individual. Next comes pushing too hard. So definitely some kind of pushing or encouragement is required for the child. But sometimes parents go overboard and push the child too hard to study. This can actually lead to rebelliousness or resentment and make it harder for the children to learn. So children need to be allowed to progress at their own pace to maintain a love for learning. So pushing too hard will only make them want to give up. Next comes not being involved. So another mistake that parents make is not being involved in the children's education. It is important to be supportive and interested in what your child is doing to help them succeed. So children need to feel like their parents are interested in their success to be actually motivated. Next comes not providing enough structure. So another common mistake is not providing enough structure for children when it comes to their studies. So I could give you that example of how you could chunk in study hours for the child, and even that could be done even for the syllabus also, like chunking in the syllabus, and also helping them to identify the subjects that they are weak at, that they are good at, and accordingly making the proper plan. So a proper routine based on their subject identity, subject denominations, called subject weak and strong, and also in certain portions of the subject that they need to cover, and all need to be done. Then comes being too critical. Finally, another mistake that parents make is being too critical of their children's work. So this can lead to feelings of inadequacy and can make it harder for children to want to learn. So it's important to encourage and praise your child's efforts even if they are not perfect. So there are just a few of the mistakes that parents make when it comes to the children's education. So avoid these pitfalls and you will be on your way to helping your child succeed. So children, they need structure, encouragement and support to thrive in their education actually. So if you give them what they need, you will actually set them up for success. Now to conclude, the study habits created by children today will actually help them in the future. Sometimes children do not study because they're not very much interested in the subjects that they are studying. Right? So from the class 8 onwards, 9th onwards, we help in making you a proper plan of which subjects could be best for your child. Right? Which subject, which stream, which courses and career. So it has to be properly identified and not just pushed to the child. It has to be done in discussion with the child, in keeping an account the child's personality, his interest, his abilities, and the different career options available. What is the career option that the child is going to choose? And as per the career option that he plans to choose, we go to reverse engineering and try to understand what could be the subject options that could be best suited for the child. And then the subjects are of the child's inclination, the child is likely to study them better. So I hope that makes sense. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're watching it on YouTube, then don't forget to like this particular video so that it can reach to more people, and don't forget to share it with other parents who are struggling to have a systematic study plan for the child. And if you are coming to the channel for the first time, or if you're watching videos to this channel for some time, then you could consider subscribing to this channel so that the next video on career guidance or on the right way of parenting your child so that he can be successful in his life and in his career could come straight to you. Thank you very much for watching. Wish you all the best.